Taco Bell is rolling out
Well,
AI in the drive-thru. Who doesn't love a surprise in their Taco Bell bag?
I think fast food restaurants are going like in 10 years, I don't think they have any employees.
Oh,
Like maybe one or two that's just like the manager who just goes in, makes sure that everything's stocked, but the rest of it's just fully automated. Because it's going to get too expensive.
we were hanging out with almost, 250 developers last
Yeah,
night?
that was crazy. You don't have to be an AI startup. You can just be a regular startup, but you can start trying to leverage AI to kind of improve things.
that's a calculator at this point.
So do you think that there's a sense that like the engineer or the developer is becoming like less of this like, unbelievable opportunity and more of like just another desk job?
The good thing about technology and learning is it's easy to do if you have an internet connection and a computer.
Sure.
I basically have my own Figma. I do my designs. I give it to them. Then they kind of bring it into their own, and then they start applying all their own stuff to it. If you all of a sudden say, you know what, actually, I'm willing to pay you $50 an hour, now you become way more important to them.
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't think that's popped into their head at how magical this brain that you have access to can be.
Refuse to use AI. And it's just like, no, it's dog shit. Not going to use it. Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, we know people age out of technology, right?
Because it's obvious, like it's novel at first, but when it's actually adding value, that's when you keep going back to the well and you keep using it.
Yeah.
You can't say I don't use AI.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
Unless you're saying I don't like to be productive.
If something's not making you more productive, you're gonna throw that tool away.
It's crazy how much cheaper it actually is, and it's not meant to like give. It's not so chatty. It's much more like a hike.
The great thing about Apple is they're going to build this in. There's not some new button or anything.
Yeah.
It's built into the existing way you use apps.
I love it because it's so relevant because it knows exactly what I've been looking for. What I don't like is I accidentally leave it and come back and it refreshes the whole page. And there was something at the top that I was like, oh, that looked interesting. But now I'm not gonna, what am I gonna do? Go look for it now?
That's the worst.
One of the big things about Apple Intelligence is it's going to come with these SDKs that allow you to leverage the image playground. It allows you to edit, yet utilize the writing tools inside of your apps. 18.1 ships with a feature that will basically say, hey, go AI focus mode. And it'll only escalate push notifications that it thinks are important. Forcing people into an upgrade cycle to get a suite of tools that isn't ready for mass user adoption could really hurt their brand.
Yeah.
These little thinking programs who can kind of act on their own into our systems, and you don't have necessarily the infrastructure or the QA processes or anything for that to really be able to put it through its paces.
Have you guys cloned your voices with any tools yet?
No,
I
Jacob did. It was damn scary. I
Like just-
don't know anything about those technologies, and I just shipped a fully working barcode scanner that I could probably sell and license.
I'm trying to get a recipe or something like that, and it's just like, according to recipes.com on February 20, I'm like, okay, just tell me the ounces or whatever the hell I asked.
Right.
I went and watched a bunch of other ones on YouTube, and there were some people that were really seeing it and really seeing the potential of it. And like, I can really see this integrating into my workflow.
Do you think there will ever be a day where they're just listening to us all day long, and then at the end of the day, they can be like, hey, Jacob, you mentioned you needed to do X, Y, and Z.
Absolutely.
If it even ships, I think is enough to lay the foundation for an unbelievable amount of things.
If they could get that thing running and be really fast, I think that could be an absolute kind of game changer.
So Google's not even in the top five?
Ultra is right up there.
The web has to continue to exist and content has to continue to get created.
My daughter really looks up to this Olympian. Can you write a letter helping her write a letter to the Olympian? And everyone freaked out.
There is something very authentic about a child who can't write that well, and they're sitting there struggling like, Mommy, I want to say they're great.
I became a good writer by having to write.
Just brute
Yeah,
force.
and it doesn't take away the value where it can help you. AI is going to be so good in a couple of years at, I want to type out, hey, I want a workflow that does X, Y, and Z.
There's only one word that comes into mind for me with all of this, and it's productivity. The whole concept of going, I'm not going to use this stuff because I just don't like it. I think blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I think you're missing out.
It's also
on
For the first time in 20 years that I was able to step back and get out of my own ego, because ChatGPT helped me kind of see it from her perspective.